So to make the side plates, I've marked out the 40mm width. I've also cut it to a bevel, just in an effort to make it look less square. So set the bevel on my scroll saw. These two holes here, you can see, are not drilled all the way through. To do that, I made a template, put it onto this side plate, flip it over, and put it onto the other one. These plates are identical, so just glue the template on and pin these plates together, and you can just cut them both together. Glue these templates on with a glue stick. All you need to do is dampen the side plates, wait a while, and they should peel right off. I've made these 12mm pieces out of 6mm ply, so glued the template on, cut the piece out roughly, doubled it up, and then cut it out properly. Drill out a 19mm hole, not quite the way through for the stock. And for the grip, you may want to sand this out. As for something like this, we have to make two of, but there are no pinholes. And the best way to stick this together is with double-sided tape. With the stock tang at the right angle, you can run the blade of a saw along the top of the vise to start out the cuts. Now it just slots in like that. Assembly starts by gluing these two pieces together, and this hole here is designed to help with alignment. This piece gets glued to the inside of the right plate only, and there is a slight bevel all around so that the other parts don't get caught on it. To secure the lever, I recommend an old-fashioned cut thread screw. This bare part of the screw will ensure that the lever doesn't dig into the screw. You'll need to add a lead weight to the lever in order to slow the rate of fire. That can just be hammered into place. You don't need 25mm thick wood to make the front trunnion. You just need to cut a piece of 19mm wood. That's 25mm wide. This hole here can help you assemble the side plate so that it can be screwed down nice and precisely. With all these pieces glued in and the trigger parts glued like so, that should just drop in and slide freely. The trigger spring will need to poke out through this gap, so drill a hole into the grip so it lines up nicely. Check that the rotor works in semi-auto mode. And also full auto. So in full auto, what the selector does is it limits the trigger pull travel. The trigger only moves a little bit before it is blocked. In semi-auto, this lever cannot move, it's locked in place, but the trigger pull is now much longer and it acts on this rotor directly. Glue this plate into the top and this one into the bottom. Glue the upper part of the magazine well and then fit the release catch in this orientation. The other plate will actually be cut in half, so this piece will go here and this piece will go here. Next up, you'll need to cut a slot in the magazine that lines up with the catch. You can see the catch is beveled, and so is the end of the magazine. Bevel will allow the magazine to push the catch out of the way and slot into place. Last of all, drill a small hole in the magazine well for a spring. There's a better view of the magazine catch and how it works. Here we have it, the finished Sten Mark III. Barrel is made from a 50mm long piece of dowel, and the stock, I recommend using about 280mm of that. I'm going to push this lever forward, hook a rubber band onto the muzzle pin, that's a 4mm dowel, and I'm going to use a technique known as bias loading. I'll deliberately stretch one end of the rubber band more than the other. And what this does is it makes the rubber band spin in midair and gives it more accuracy and range. You don't have to do it, it's just what I recommend. And that can take up to 16 shots. Maybe a few more or a few less, depending on what you build it out of and depending on the type of rubber band you use. Another thing to point out is the 3 different bands have 3 different receiver lengths. So this will be a side plate for the Volksturm MP3008. You can see it is a little bit shorter than this one, and I'll probably end up using shorter rubber bands too. Depending on what rubber bands you have, that may dictate which version you build.